It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, Decky will be delighted there's kids for a quid. Liam Kearney takes charge of the women's team. Dom reports on all the football happenings of West Cork. Ryan Dino saves City's unbeaten run. We talk about that Bray goal, and Dom has the Trundle wheel out in the Carlisle grounds. We talk about where we are for next year, as well as two terrible previews of Queenstown and Finger Lickers. We head to the mailbag. There's a pretty poor SB of the week. All of this and more on this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Right. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 14, Episode 339 of your multi-award winning podcast. Throw us a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening in on. Dan Casey here, and I'm joined by my other three amigos. They are Declan Carey, Wayne Mullins, and Dominic Heffernan. Why not join us on Patreon, patreon.com/StoreTap. You know the crack, €5 a month to join us over there. We're also delighted to have NordVPN as sponsors of our podcast. And sign up now for 4 bonus months at nordvpn.com/StoreTap. You're helping us out and you get something back yourself, including your 30-day money back guarantee. If you're listening to my voice and it sounds a bit different, the Cork Limerick game was yesterday, so that will explain that. Wayne, did you watch the Cork Limerick game, since you're a big GA head now?
I didn't know, honestly, didn't know it was on. I do know who won because Kerry told me, but I didn't know it was on. I saw a few extra Cork jerseys around today, though. I was surprised. But...
Like, Wayne, how do you not know it's on? How, like, there was 43,000 people descending down onto the South Link and Black Rock and Mahon areas, and, like, town is chaos, and, like,
I went to Ballincollig yesterday. Yesterday's Sunday, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I came back, and we actually just played in the garden. I went training yesterday morning.
You went training?
No, it was a game that my team were playing in.
Okay.
So strange.
We don't talk about it in the pod.
You're the exact polar opposite to my wider family. Like, where, like, any of my family members I met yesterday was like, the first thing out of their mouth was Cork match today, or if I was talking to them and it was half time.
Every day. That's just a Northside thing, like.
I know, yeah.
We all live together. 20 into one gaff.
Once a week is enough for me, like, if that, like. I had 40 years of it. I don't need it every day, like.
I don't know, like, a lot of us would congregate into the mother's house, Nana Carey, on a Sunday, like, and the Cork match is on.
It's a Northside thing. It is. Like, it is. That's not, like, you know. Good on you,
fair enough. Fair enough.
When you're trying to say you have a bad relationship with your family, or what, like?
No, I'm saying here.
This is not being edited out, on you.
Yeah, sure. It was shit. No, I just didn't know the match was on. I didn't even see it on TV, to be honest with you. What was I watching on TV? FA Cup was on yesterday.
Well,
we're not watching Leeds playing, losing to Chelsea.
Look,
I know Dom definitely wasn't watching it either.
The Cork match was at 2 o'clock anyway, Wayne. So, like, I had the Leeds game on my phone for the first 20 minutes of that. And, yeah.
Do you know what was on at 2 o'clock yesterday? It was the Monaco Historic Grand Prix. There was like 12 hours of these historic. That's what I was watching actually most of yesterday.
I had a similar Sunday to Wayne. 3:30, I was in Drina in West Cork for Drina Rangers pitch for Barry United, my old team that I used to coach with. No, Drina, yeah. They were playing Ardfield it was the last game of the season. Well, for Barry United, if they won it or drew it, they would have won the league and gotten promoted into the Premier Division. And they lost. Ardfield were third. They have a game in hand now. If they win that game, Ardfield will win the league.
Dan, how was your day?
Lad, I couldn't even tell you what happened to the Cork City matches, and Dominic's fucking telling us about Drina matches and Beara matches.
No,
and all
Drina weren't playing. But Dom,
for such a big rahead, I'm surprised you're not into the J and you support the foreign sport.
I just don't. Now I counteract by not following English football, but no, I just.
It's a big football town, though, isn't it, Castletownbere? Like,
yeah, it would be.
All those,
I was involved.
All those East Kerry towns are mad for the fucking football.
Are you into like rescue shipping, sailing stuff? Aren't they that down there as well? Aren't they?
That's skipping.
Are they?
Isn't there an
Rowing.
RC?
The rowers.
Rowing is
there's
Cabrini, like
Isn't there an RNLI place down there?
Yeah, there is. But I don't think that's really a hobby.
Well,
Dom, you wanted to make a point about the GA before you were rudely interrupted.
Isn't it great? How many people were there then? Dick?
43,000. Yeah.
Isn't that? It just goes to show the appetite in Cork for a successful local team. So isn't it great to think like Cork City are top of the league, have won the league already, only one round of fixtures in. So how are we going to fit all 40,000 of them into Turner's Cross on Friday?
How much are tickets?
30 quid and 35 quid.
20 is plenty.
Jesus Christ. Kids are a fiver when and I don't know how much OIPs are.
A kid for a quid?
Maybe Dermot Usher's right that like maybe we are too cheap.
Nah, this is like sorry lads.
It's just one game every like 6 months anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Right. Am I going to catch someone off guard now when I say it's time for Academy Watch?
Well, I look for the song here. Who watched WrestleMania last week anyway, lads? I know I missed last Monday, but it's still in the
I missed it as well.
in the ether.
I don't know.
There's a clean sweep across the Academy. Our under-20s, they beat Treaty 3-0. Our under-17s, they beat Queenstown 1-0. Our under-15 team, they beat Treaty 7-0. And our under-14 team, they beat Queenstown 5-0. And the women's team also lost 3-0 to Galway at home. Tom, what were you shaking there?
I was just celebrating the clean sweep for the Academy.
Oh, fair.
Oh, sorry,
what flag was that? What flag was that?
Cork City flag. Well, Irish flag, Cork City flag.
Talk about putting crests and writing on flags, please. And it's an absolute disgrace to do that.
Well, it was fair bad. There was a Cork GA logo on the Confederate flag. They were selling them outside the match yesterday.
I don't know why people do it. Like, anyway, do you know how to fold a tricolour, by the way?
The tri-flag is your one, whatever her name said. Yeah.
Do you know how you're supposed to fold it properly?
Yeah, there's a way of doing that for most countries, Wayne, isn't there?
Yeah, the green's not supposed to touch the orange, so you got to fold it onto the white and back again. Just little things you should know.
The green's not supposed to touch the orange, isn't like the green's supposed to be for Catholics, so
well, it's not
more
it's
segregation.
No.
It's
not to do with religion. It's got to do with how you fold a flag.
All right. I'll save that for Patreon someday. I'd say.
I was just going to say you should do a tutorial on Patreon.
Not necessarily religions either. Dan,
you can use this flag.
Right, we'll drive it into a bit of Commie Watch.
Commie Watch with Ivan Draco on the Other Three Amigos podcast.
Lads, is Ivan Drago ever going to make an appearance? Or I just have a bone to pick with that jingle. Like,
what's wrong with that jingle?
What's wrong with the jingle? It's the best
why
jingle.
do you all say Commie Watch with Ivan Drago? Like, and then which one of ye was supposed to be him? Like back in the Brian Fantana days now and all this stuff. Like, who was playing the role of Ivan Drago?
I think Damien was. He used to do it in a Soviet accent at the start, and then they invaded Ukraine, and we ditched it for the North Korean one. And then North Korea got a bit nuclear, so we went back to Ivan Drago, which was that's what happened.
It's the one jingle that's lasted the test of time on this last one.
In fairness,
Boston is good too.
We don't hear too much from that lad anymore. Anyway, Liam Kearney, it looks like he was in charge of the women's team in their game against Galway at the weekend. They did lose that game. Wayne, what do you make about that? You were making faces there now, so you may as well speak like...
He's Dan's favourite player growing up. Can we just go to him about that?
Dom's.
Yes.
Why was he your favourite player, Dom?
I know, he was like my first ever match. He scored 2 goals in it. So obviously, as a 9 or 10-year-old, whatever age I was, he's going to be the one to get your attention.
Off the shells.
And did anything else about him that day attract you to his prowess?
I mean, you're talking about the fact that like the bleach blonde hair really catches your attention. Like he stood out on the pitch. To be fair,
quite small.
Yeah, but you're not going to miss him with the hair that he had. No, I think my favourite players in that first season would have been Liam Kearney, George O'Callaghan and Dave Mooney. Dave Mooney, somebody you wouldn't really remember much about.
But he was unreal for that first, whatever it was.
Those 20 games or whatever that he played.
Yeah. Jesus, yeah. It's often forgotten about, really, that run he went on that time. Like, it was Maguire-esque, as we call it.
It genuinely could be compared to Shawnee in 2017.
Yeah.
And then he went to Reading and it all went downhill.
It's just forgotten because it was such a awful season with Arcaga and all that stuff then that reared its ugly head, and then Tom Collin took over the following year, and Jesus.
All right, let's put focus back on Wayne. Wayne, yes. What's your issue with Liam Kearney in charge of the women's team?
No issue whatsoever. I'm just surprised. Do you know?
Why is that?
Surprising about it?
Well, he's a fantastic youth coach, and I think we should stick to having him as a youth coach.
Do you not think Wayne, being devil's advocate, he's a fantastic youth coach? We've got an unbelievably young women's team, but
I'd fear that shit hits the fan, and he pisses off as well. He gets pissed off at the club. I'd rather keep him in an area where he's happy for the last few years, and he doesn't get annoyed, pissed off, and run through the hills.
I can see why the club did it. Like, maybe I know Craig and Fenley, is it?
The Poison Chalice, like,
were there, and maybe the club thought, like, just a different voice, an experienced head, someone that knows how to communicate well to younger players.
Just invest and show them respect and give them the.
But I know, Wayne, but just for the first 1 or 2 games after a manager just left,
short. That's papering over cracks again. We all know the situation with it, and I'm just.
I don't think he's the permanent manager. Like,
no, to be fair, like the last 2 times that the men's team were looking for a manager after Tim Clancy left and after Liam Buckley, he was involved then with the men's team. So clearly he is happy clearly he is happy to come in and help out with the senior teams when he's needed to, and he's happy to go back to his substantive role then.
It's great for the girls, it's great for the team, but I just worry that I'd rather keep him away from fire. That makes sense?
Yeah, I agree with him, but you just kind of argued against your own point. They're great for the girls and great for the team. Like, that's kind of what they need, like, isn't it? It's like,
no, they need investment.
They haven't won a game, respect. I know, but in the immediate short term, like, they haven't won a game in, was it?
And what happens if he wins 3 in a row? Gets the job, gets all the promises.
Carney for the women's Ireland job, like, or something, they'll be gone now. Like.
Maybe, you know what, yeah. I just fear.
So you'd be Moyler in charge of the men's team and Carney in charge of the women's, like, to be mad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, lads, are we very excited? Wayne, this will be up your street. Kids for £1.
Yeah.
They're charging in children €1 tickets.
It's magnificent.
For this open Friday.
It's simply magnificent, is what it is. It's brilliant. It's get them in the door. It's what we've been banging on for since the start of the podcast 6 years ago, to be honest with you. So, yeah, great move. Well done to the club for this again. And, fantastic. Hopefully we can pack the place now.
Do you think we're going to see more incentives like this in the future, given obviously the Kerry game?
Because
started a few weeks ago.
You can bring 2 or 3 kids and it's still very cheap, under £20, you know that? So, I think great move by the club. Deserves credit. Fair play.
If they're €1, would you not make them free, Kerry?
I suppose kids for £1 just has that ring to it, and people like €1 is worth nothing these days anyway, Dan. So, like, as Wayne said there, someone will just look at that and say, yeah, I can bring 3 or 4 kids here for still under 20, and then they'll do the usual. Well, sure, look, since they more or less got into the game for free, I'll buy them a program as well, and maybe a scarf for my favourite of the 3 or whatever, you know. So, look, it's a very positive thing. The club has done it a few times in the past. I can see us doing a couple of more of these, given the success of the Kerry one for the rest of the season. And I do only see it lasting this year, though, just while we're in the doldrums here in the First Division, and we're trying to just, re-engage the fan base and build a bit of trust again, and hopefully build us up for a pleasant surprise when ticket prices and season tickets are announced for next year back in the Premier.
And lastly, Dom, I'll go to yourself on this one. Is it a good idea?
Sorry, I was waiting for a different question. No, it's brilliant. In fairness, it is. And I have seen people giving out about, like, why not just make it free? But you might as well get something for it. Which, if we get an extra 500 kids, it's €500 extra. Whereas it's nothing for the parents, really. So, no, it is brilliant. And we should see results, hopefully, from it.
You should never give anything away for free unless you're going into schools. Charging a quid, it devalues it, but not to a point of where it's free. And so a quid is better than zero. Never give something away for free unless you're going into schools and places like that.
When you've been cutting your finger,
I do.
How'd you manage that?
I was trying to pick something up from a steel shelf today, and I went in too quick and I sliced the top of my finger, and it hasn't stopped bleeding. So I've had to wrap it multiple times. So if I bleed out tonight, please still release the pod, okay? Don't be doing Decky going, we can't release the pod because Wayne's dead. Please just keep releasing it.
If Decky made a good point, he wouldn't give a fuck. Like, he was like, oh yeah, try it out.
That's true too, actually. But yeah, it's
the show must go on. And I commend you for turning up here tonight, Wayne, in fairness to you. Despite this gruesome injury.
I never thought a finger could have so much pain in it. I'm telling you, it's so painful.
It's because you're moving it. When you go to move it or anything, it just doesn't allow it to heal.
It's just above the finger knuckle part, and it's just like, it just slices it. The thing is, when it first happened, 10 seconds, it just hung there and no blood, and then suddenly it just fucking dribbled down and pumped out of my hand. It was fucking weird.
Lads, that's it for Commie Watch. Like, they've been very uncommunisty the past week or so. Like,
hold on.
What?
Did any of you see the article by the Examiner this week?
No.
Do tell.
That's more you and Decky's realm now.
Yeah, no, I did want to bring it up because it's like we've been calling for a long time about how does it always fall on toe tap to report things as it is, and why don't the media report on things as they should. But it has to be said, in fairness to John Fallon, he had an article in the Examiner this week titled "Cork Problems Run Deeper Than the Dugout." And it was about Barry Ryan leaving and just the state of the women's team in general. And I thought it was just brilliant because when he was talking about how Barry Ryan would have promoted young players that he had developed himself within the academy, he stated, and I quote, "Perhaps budgetary constraints enforced that, but overloading the team with youth is high risk. This wasn't Alex Ferguson mixing the class of 92 with Manchester United's chiseled core," which is, like, it's quite self-explanatory. It's not that this is a tactic to build a young squad. It's budgetary constraints are making us have a youth academy squad in the senior team, essentially. But the article also pointed out a couple of things that were interesting. It said the women's team were cut adrift at the bottom of the table in 2 out of the last 3 seasons. It said that Dermot Usher is not embracing the traditional model in the UK and Ireland of subsidising the women's team. And he stated, "Unless this changes, talent like Eva Mangan will continue to operate out of loyalty." Which is, there's no confusing what is meant in the article, but there were a couple of lines that stood out as well. It said that nobody should expect the next boss to be any different, considering the difficult conditions that prevail. Now, what do you think that what he means by this with the difficult conditions? Like, he's essentially saying that any manager who takes over will fail because they're working under difficult conditions. And those difficult conditions are an owner that would rather see the women's team fail than invest any money in it. Yeah. If there's any doubt that that's what he meant, then there's another line earlier in the article that says, let me get that up.
It's very unlike the Echo
Examiner. It says, Ryan might have been justified in declaring last week that the days of getting beaten by 5 or 6 are over, but that shouldn't be the judgment criteria for a club of Cork City's profile and catchment area. Like, all we can say there is thank you to John, because that is exactly what this podcast has been saying all along. And it comes down to standards, really. The standard that has been set in this massive football club. Like, people forget Cork City are the 9th most successful team in League of Ireland history, and we've only been around for 42 years of that. We are a big team, and the standard as has been set now is that a manager can see that we're not going to lose by 5 or 6 goals. It's such a great story that we have to go to the media to declare that this is what's happening. And this is exactly what's wrong with Cork City. But
I'd probably read that line down there about, was there one where he said, like, the next manager will have to come in and work under difficult conditions? I just probably see that more from a practical sense as a coach. Like, you're going to come in, right? You're going to be struggling for training facilities. You're going to have to be begging and borrowing probably and moving the players around and all that crack and struggling to get pitches in pre-season and all that. You'll have no money then, even ancillary cash, things like get someone a room for a couple of weeks if they come over from the States or they come from outside of Cork, or tie them over for a while, or you don't have like a full-time employee at the club who's kind of doing creative things like trying to get the players full-time jobs with a club sponsor or something like that, so then that they can play like they do in Scotland. And like I know clubs like Glasgow City do that, and I don't want to list them all. Like I had a couple of great chats with people involved in the women's side of things when I was on the board and all that, about different things you can do and creative ideas. And we tried to do that as best we could as well when it was under fan ownership. Like I think at one stage we had players in the women's team helping prep the merchandise for Christmas, and we were, helping them out as well. So like, I don't know what the club is actually doing, but like, yeah, the constraints are just there. Like, how can you even talk to a player about joining Cork City when you're going to end up telling them playing for the club is likely going to cost you money? We're not going to give you any type of financial contribution we're talking about. Sorry about the cost of fuel price increase if you have to drive 45 minutes to get to training. That's not our problem. Things I've heard being said, like, about the situation in Glasgow Police. And I know my namesake, Mr. McCormack, like, did a fantastic job of this ranting last week about the situation, but it really is a crying shame to see what's happened. Like, that women's team won the cup in 2017, got to a cup final there as well. I think was it 2021? Up in Tallaght, it just seems like the last 3 or 4 years just fallen off a cliff completely. Like, and Danny Murphy was in there and he tried to do his level best, I think, with, again, I would say, like, handcuffs on to some extent and what he couldn't do, and then that led to probably some disagreements and things he was doing versus what the club wanted. But he's just so passionate and wanted to succeed with it and push the boundaries. But look, it's a shame.
You're absolutely spot on there, Dick. But it all comes back to, like I said, the problem and the difficult thing there is that we have an owner who would rather see the team fail than invest in the women's team.
Yeah, so just dip into the mailbag early this time. Garrett, not an advisor, Barry says, not men's related, but I was coming down the Curra Road on Saturday. Some of the women's players were walking against me with their parents. I saw a few visibly emotional and really upset. This situation must be taking its toll on them. My heart went out to them. Will Usher F off. Wayne, what do you think of that?
Well, people are starting to think this way a lot, aren't they? I just don't know what the future holds for this football club in general. I said it in the forum, I said it here. The minimum that every team in this club deserves is respect, and they're not getting it, in my opinion. I don't think they are. I think they're pissing against the wind, you could say. And I think that it's only going to get worse. And it's sad because when they lose, our club loses. Yeah, I know a lot of people aren't interested in the women's side of the game. They don't watch it. They don't know the results. But some people do, and some people see it, and it just doesn't look good on our football club. Like, just the bare minimum respect will go a long way.
Dom.
Yeah, like, when you think about that is how these girls are feeling, and they're coming here, most of them are from here, but even the ones who aren't from here are coming here to represent us as a fan base, as a city. They're putting on our jersey, wearing our crest, and we don't even have their back as a club. It's absolutely sickening.
Yeah,
they deserve so much better.
Look, I know, lads, there's going to be people listening to this now too saying, oh, look at him now banging on about Danny Murphy again and all that. But like the last time that team was putting up proper fights and winning, didn't they go up? I think in Danny's like last season or last full season, anyway, they went up to Tala and beat Shamrock Rovers. Like that's unbelievable, like unfathomable now when you look at the table now and the last like 20 games or whatever. I think Declan McCormick put up a league table there on the forum the other day about it, and like they have like, is it 17 losses and 3 draws? Like, but I remember when Danny was the manager, yeah, fair enough. Like they were still in that kind of bottom 3, bottom 4, but they were like picking up results and on any given day, and that just kind of goes to show you, Wayne, what you said there. Danny, one thing I can say for absolute certain is he had unbelievable respect for the players, and I think they responded well to that and played beyond themselves and put in that extra 20-30% to get results in the odd games here and there. And I think then once he left, yeah, look, Frank came in then, experienced guy in the women's game and a great guy in general, but like completely handcuffed then in what he couldn't do. And obviously look, had to step away then for his own personal reasons. And just there looks like there's no strategy, there's no plan. And as I think I agree with Declan McCormick, like it's an absolute catastrophe what's happened the women's side of the club, and what's happening in it. And he did say like it's time for Dermot to go now. So forget about the 2 relegations in 3 seasons and all that, but like what's gone on with the women's side is like absolute shambolic stuff. It is like the club can deny this all they want, but if it wasn't a licensing requirement, there would be no Cork City FC women's team. I'm in my opinion. I'm almost
when did Usher come in again? Was it 23 or was it 24?
Start of 2023, yeah.
So they were last in the league that season. 24, they were 9th. Last year, last. This year, going to be last again. Let's face the reality of it. Like, Dom, does that just speak to a lack of funding across the football club in general? Even women's or men's teams aside, because we've gotten relegated twice as well in that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely comes down to it, because there has to be some consistency in what's going wrong for the level of consistency in the results. And if what's worrying about the women's team is, the men's team, the men's side of it, there's a phrase in football of the UCD of the league. And now that's not always going to be UCD. Like, for example, last year we were the UCD of the league, but it's a phrase that's thrown out there in the League of Ireland for a team that is just expected to be shit and expected to be bottom. There's probably women in the country who would be starting to refer to the Cork City of the league.
Oh, but
this is our football club.
That,
this is our football club, and that's what's happening with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just back to the John Fallon article. So, point I wanted to make is, there's 2 points I wanted to make about it. But first, like, John Fallon has been critical of the club in the past, but there was never anything as cutting as this article, and makes you wonder, first of all, will he have his media accreditation removed? Will he be banned from Turner's Cross? Will there be any? Will he lose? What was it that he lose his
journalistic integrity?
Yeah, and just the privileged position in the club that he used to have and everything. But is that all gone, or is that just what happens when Totap report on managers factually leaving? But the other thing,
I'd say he wrote that in such a way that, you know, he could argue it either way, Dom. Like, he didn't really drive the knife in. He made a lot of, I won't say innuendo is probably a bit of a harsh word, but he alluded to a lot of things rather than just outright saying it. You'd have to be like a serious in the know fan and toe tapper and Patreon member and listener of Last Amis to really,
which you should be.
Oh, you should. But again, it's a percentage of a percentage of a percentage to really understand what he's saying in that article. Your average dipper that goes to the cross every now and again, like, if they read John Fallon's article, they wouldn't have a clue. They'd just be looking at that going, well, yeah, but sure, I heard Shawnee Maguire's on Big Bob's, and so is this fella and this fella, you know. That honest to God, people say that to me. I'd say at least once a fortnight. I meet people and they say, and this isn't now a dig at Shawnee because he's worth the money and all that stuff, and he deserves every penny he gets. But people say to me, they're just saying, "Geez, there must be big money again out in Cork City, like back in the days of, Georgie and Gamble and all these fellas when they were on Big Bobs, like Shawnee's on Big Bobs, and your man must be throwing the money around, like." And I'm like, oh my God.
The worst one is, the relegation will be a good thing for you. When you come back up now, you'll be stronger again.
Reset, a grand reset. Yeah.
Christ,
they were using that out in Bishopstown a couple of years ago, actually, the first relegation in 2023. This would be a good reset now. I was like, oh my God. The reset was 2021. Like we're well past all that stuff.
Right, we want something lighter. Wayne, it's your birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday!
Oh, cheers! How would you know?
I got a bit of info there last minute.
Cheers. Happy birthday, Wayne!
We're just are we not allowed to be best friends? I'm
just surprised that you're the first person to say so. Thank you, Dan.
No problem.
We'll have to get on to our friends in Bishopstown and get your birthday announced over the PA.
Scotty and he's what birthday is it?
I don't count anymore.
You don't count your birthdays?
No, I don't. I don't actually celebrate my birthday anymore. I'm that miserable, Dan.
You're afraid of getting old, or is it just?
I'm here. Like I'm. This is already like freaking me out. So let's move on, lads. Let's move on. I'm not like Decky.
He gets very touchy here, Dan, doesn't he? When you talk about like his relationship with his family and his age and
relationship with his kids, it's
I'm
just
not
like
really
like
McCormick where I need to feel love for my birthday. I don't need that cake.
That's very true, Wayne. That's very true. Yeah, you're a great
If
man.
you listen back, right, at least on 3 different episodes, he mentioned his birthday was coming up. At
know.
least on 3. I just
talked about it. I remember the one where he talked about the guy who spotted him at the party. Was that Declan McCormick from the Thought Tap podcast there? I nearly puked into my cornflakes.
And then the worst thing is we all forgot about his birthday. Then, we forgot to actually text him in the group chat.
Yeah, Tory. Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
We're not friends.
We got very fed up. We never said happy birthday to him a couple of years ago. Do you remember in the chat? And he got very
this week in things that didn't happen in Wien. I was at a birthday party and this guy spotted me.
Right.
So yeah.
We're not about driving it on, Wayne, but the only option then is to talk about the fucking football game. So do you really want to?
Do we talk about Figure Kelleher now, or do we talk about it later?
I just we'll straight in for it now. Look, the centre backs were an absolute disgrace.
I would say that's being very kind, Dan.
Go on, take it up. What do you think?
Did you see that screenshot that went around WhatsApp?
Yeah, I did.
They were 10, 15. What are we using these days? Yards,
meters? I think is probably the.
We should use meters because we're European, ahead of the striker. And by the time they scored, they were I just couldn't believe. I knew it was bad, but I couldn't believe it when I saw that screenshot. I was nearly going, it was Lyons and Kelleher. Not to do expect it from Lyons, right? People consider him a third. I think he's our best defender actually right now. I know it's weird, but I think he is. That's a disgrace from Kelleher. I don't care. And anyone who tries to
I give Lyons some hope, but Kelleher, no, just no.
And no one can say I'm being harsh. I'm sure Barry Robson has ripped into him as well of the same situation. No one can say, oh, he's at it again. No, it was an absolute disgraceful defending. And it's just a calamity waiting to happen every single week. We have to just cut ties into the season.
Maybe I know we're doing
Maybe he's a great player in his past, but right for us now is we need a solid defence and keeper.
Dom,
I don't think we have either.
You coach, Dom. What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, there's no defending it, no excusing it. Well, there's no defending there, full stop. But you would hope, surely they would have analysed that and gone through it, and that Barry Robson would have gone through them, because that, there's just no way of putting it. If that happened at that West Cork League match I was at yesterday, it would be unforgivable to leave that much space in there, and there's that poor defending. But and it also has to, and people always joke about how much I love Greg Bolger, and I'm always told I'd never say anything bad about him, but he also, I think was him, gave the ball away in midfield to start it. That was also something that needs to be looked at. That was shocking.
I know
he makes up for it by genuinely being one of the best players in our club, so everyone fucks up from time to time. So
the worst part was Achara nearly missed it. He actually nearly he snatched at the ball, like, and it still went in. And if we had someone back quicker, it would have been stopped. And then Brand gets stuck in the net. Like, that's not his fault. I get that. Like, but like, what is going on? Like,
but surely that's something that requires no effort to burst your bollocks and get to that ball first. That is something that requires zero effort. Like, Decky,
I don't think Usain Bolt would have got there that fast if the lads were bursting to go. He was that far behind.
Lads, there was signs in as well early on. Like, was it Sammy for Bray? Like, I think a quarter of an hour in, glorious chance. He completely scuffed it and sent it wide. But again, he's like, it's simple through ball in, and all of a sudden he's 5-6 yards ahead of the defenders. How this happened? Like, Bray should have been 2 up. I'd say 2-0 to Bray at half time. Like, was a fair score. But like,
Brand made a good save as well. Like, easily.
Yeah. Like, there was another good save. I think a cross came in from the right for Bray, and I remember now when their forwards got a touch on it, and it was kind of straight at the keeper, but Brand did well to hold on to it. But geez, they had brilliant chances in the first 20-25 minutes. Like, it was crazy stuff. I was watching it going like, what in the fuck is going on there? Like, what is it, lads? Like,
Dom, was it lack of effort or what? Like, is that coming from Robson, or where do you think that's coming from?
It's hard to, like, I don't think you could blame Robson for lack of effort. I don't know. Like,
he's just fucking within the players.
Someday you just lose. Delaney lost it. Like, he was playing in the Premier League, right? No way he got that bad in the space of 3 months. He's just who is around you makes, and maybe it was Conference in League 2. This wasn't a player in Championship League 1. Let's not remember. It was League 2 Conference. It's not like we got a player from the Premier League. So, like, maybe we're over expecting it because of who he is. I don't know. Like, Rory Feely is far better. It's sad, I know, but maybe he's just lost it. And it can happen. Look at James McLean up in Derry, like. It just happens. People underestimate the league and they're like, they just lose it. And
I know, but again, it's the effort thing, like, just busting your bollocks to get there. You can't question
Charlie Lyon's effort, though, in fairness. I don't think you can.
No, definitely not.
He's not a great player, but you can't, I would never question his effort. So maybe it's just a case of switching off. I don't think Keller has effort either. I don't think it's effort. I think it's just a case of switching off and not being aware of surroundings. But no, I'd never question Charlie Lyon's effort, ever.
Was there a sense of arrogance creeping in, do you think, like, that we went unbeaten in the first series of games? Was it like, what, 2 draws and the rest of wins? And now we just think, well, they played everyone once.
Sure, that has to come in. If I was part of a team and we were winning, that would, like, I'd let myself do the same as well.
We're just a good first division team at the end of the day. Like, we've got probably a sprinkle of 3 or 4 players who are Premier Division standard. The rest are just really good first division players. Just not really good enough for the Premier Division.
I think the worry, Wayne, is like that. Like, we know that there's levels to this, and like you just said it there, we've 3 maybe Premier quality players.
Yeah.
And do you see an overhaul of at least
this is
10, 11 players coming in next year, and some of those are better first division players then becoming the bench lads, and a complete overhaul? And then
this is where you have to start in July. You have to. I know Decky's saying getting pre-contracted. You have to get these players in.
They won't be. I can't see this
Then
going.
we're doing the same thing for the 4th year in a row.
The definition of insanity. Yeah, we're worse.
No, it's definition of acting the bollocks.
Yeah,
some bollocks. That's what it. It's what it is. And that's going to be the winner for the season. It's just
look. We have to talk about joining's absolute rocket. Like, unbelievable goal. But like, when that's needed as your equaliser, like that again, it's never a good sign. Scoring a worldie from 25-30 yards out. And now I know we had a couple of chances as well.
We should have won it. Like,
Keating had a 1-on-1. The keeper came out well though and did a great block on him on the edge of the box. And then there was another chance later on for us as well. But like, we were kind of scrambling then, or like that rocket from joining seemed to G us up a bit, and we went for a winner later on, but Bray were happy then with the draw. And like, it just, I don't know, lads. Like, how are we gonna do this for another freaking 6 months?
Like, to be fair, that goal is surely an early contender for goal of the season. It was a great goal. I've been saying for a long time, I really rate Conor Drynan, and I'm delighted. I feel like he's gotten a hard time over the years, and I think people are finally starting to see that he's not a bad player for us at all.
He's definitely a very solid first division player, I'd say, yeah.
But even in 2023, I thought he was very good for us towards when he joined us first.
Dan, are you taking him into the Premier Division with you?
Honestly, I would. I know there'd be people screaming at this and throwing phones out windows and everything, but Wayne being one of them and Decky being another one. Decky will throw his phone across the train again.
Pressing the mute button on their steering wheel control.
But like, where are you playing him? Are you playing him? What position is he going to be? Is he on the bench? Is he a fullback? Is he a centre back? Wing back?
Like if we were to be blessed with having a squad that is actually going to suit us, then yeah, you'd probably would be. You can do better than him for the starting 11, but I'd be quite happy to have him as an option off the bench.
But is this the willingness? Is this the willingness of mediocrity that has befallen us before, that we're in the same position once again?
If for the majority, yeah, but with him, I'd say not. But like, you also have the convenience of like, you can play him left back, you can play him left wing, you can play him as a striker and stuff. So it's like Darragh Crowley. Do you know, Darragh Crowley, you would also want to keep in the Premier Division, not first as a starting player, but because if you need somebody to go striker, having him on the bench means you have a striker, centre mid, winger, left back, centre back, wing back, fucking everything on the bench in one player. So there's that bit of convenience to it as well.
Wayne, are you keeping Drynan?
He's convincing me a little bit, I won't lie. Like, if you've got, as a bench player...
I am his agent.
Yeah, I think as a bench player, there's no harm as a Cork man as well.
I know, but I feel like if I played the Decky, and he'd be like, this shit got us in the position we're in.
Yeah, you players like Philip Long and Cormac Cotter, like, who are kind of bench, but they started a few games. They're the kind of players you need as well, like. So I get that. So, but you need an 11 that's going to challenge for Europe. Then you can bring these players in as backup, and he wouldn't be able to place the odd game if he had a good 10 around him. He's not a bad player.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think he's
loyal. And
yeah, I think he's I'll stick with he's a decent first division player, and he seems to be showing glimpses. Unbelievable goal won't take it away from him, and he has had a hard time with injuries as well the last couple of seasons. So let's see what he does for the next 6 months. If he's able to stake a claim and is an ever present in the starting 11, maybe. But if he doesn't even start that many games now, does he? 3, is it, all year? Not a whole lot for a guy you'd be bringing in.
He's probably going to play his way into the team, though, somehow. That's just where we are.
Yeah, let's see, Dan.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, that's fair, Dan, yeah.
And the last thing on Drynan, we can move on back to the game, is if you take out that relegation match against Watford a couple of years ago, and he hadn't ended up missing all of 2024 and 2025, I'd say, based on what we've seen of him, I think people have a different view. I think that one game kind of tarnished his reputation a bit, which I don't think is fair for one game to have such an impact. And he was shite in the Dundalk game, the one we lost 4-0 to them that time. But other than those 2 games, I don't think he's had any really bad games.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, the worrying thing now is if we win every game for the rest of the season, we will get 101 points.
No, it's 102 points.
I think it's 101, isn't it?
No, it's 102. There's 25 games left. No, how many is left?
24 games left.
24 games.
We've played 11.
So there's 3.
Oh no, there's 25 games left, so.
Yeah.
25, yeah.
25 games we're talking about.
Now, if we don't win all these games, it's been a disaster of a season, if I ask me.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. I think it's definitely possible that we go unbeaten now, but 100 points is not looking very good.
I'm not even fancying the unbeaten now, lads, to be honest. I think there's going to be games now over the next few months where we just switch off completely. And as I said, Bray could have easily been 2 or 3 up at halftime, and we weren't winning that game then. It could have easily been, and that's away to Bray after the first series of games. There's a long way to go. As I said, there are 25 dreary games, and I just can't see them fighting and battling for the unbeaten season. I think they'll just tune out a handful of games and we'll get caught. And then it's going to be meltdown, like, isn't it?
Dom,
well, for the sake of Marymount, I sure hope that we do go unbeaten this season, because we still have that charity bet for them that we go unbeaten for the year. So let's hope for their sake that the team can pull it together. But
this is a tough pot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was at a wedding on Friday.
Ooh.
And I missed. Well, no, I had the match on the phone. I was watching on the phone with the wife and somebody else, and I looked over.
That guy at the table, like.
But this is the great thing. I looked over to the
Cork
table to the
City
left,
fan
and
here, like a big sign above his head, like, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. Anyone I talk to, I get it in about Cork City within a minute. But I looked over to the table to the left of me, and Philly Crowley, who often contributes to the podcast, was there, and he had the phone up on the table and he was watching it with the wife too. And it has to be said, Cork City are fucking massive. One wedding and two people have the match up on the phone. It's great to be such a big team. You wouldn't get that with the GAA now.
Do you remember those days, Declan, when we were the same? We all used to love telling people who we supported.
I know. Great times. I remember being at a wedding one time, and so my wife's first cousin or something, and I think we were away to Shamrock. This was back in 2017, and missed the game, obviously. And again, I don't even think LOI TV was around back then. The game wasn't on TV, and so who arrives then back, because his missus was at the wedding, Garrod Morrissey, fresh off the team bus, like, and shows up at the wedding like at 1:30 in the morning, like, and I was cut. And he's after, like, we got a win away to Shamrock Rovers or something, and there's like Garrod Morrissey getting off, arriving at the hotel like a fucking 1:30 in the morning to collect his missus in his Cork City tracksuit, like, brilliant. I burned the air off him. Jesus Christ. Sorry, chops. Fucking hell.
Do you know who else loves talking about Cork City? Tim O'Keefe. If you meet Tim, he'll get in about Cork City. So he's a great man to have a chat about Cork City with.
I tell you, a great postman too, and congratulations to Tim on his upcoming retirement as well. A great servant to the people of the Republic of Ireland with An Post, and yeah, congrats on a great career.
I won't say that, forget it. Do you know the terrible... No, I can't. No. Go on.
You ruined my good moment there, Wayne.
I can't. I'll tell you after that.
Poor Tim.
No, this is someone else. This is a different person who's in the same job.
Right. Go on.
We'll have the conversation later. We'll have the same conversation later.
Okay.
Jesus,
looking forward to it.
Looking at our bench, we bring on Keaton, we bring on Bridge, we bring on Murray for his few minutes of cameo, because Robson just doesn't seem to rate him. Do these guys need to be doing more that we can actually go out and win a game in the first division, the Wine Premier?
Do the bench need to be doing more? Like,
well,
more
Keaton,
bench?
Bridge.
Like, I thought Keaton did well when he came on. He did well. It's hard to say. Like, you know, everyone needs to be. If you're not in the squad, you need to be putting your name into the first team. So in that sense, everyone could be doing more. If you're not in the starting 11, then you need to be doing more to get into the starting 11. But even when coming off the bench, like, it's difficult when you're coming off the bench in a game where you need to win. And every game for us, we need to win. There's no such thing as a good draw in this division. So if we're 1-1, or even when we were 1-0 down, and you're coming off the bench, there's a lot of pressure on you that you need to be able to make a difference here. So it is very difficult.
What's the crack with Murray? Do you think we'll ever see him get decent game time for Cork City again? He hasn't played well enough, to be fair, when he's come on, as we thought, like when he's lighting it up last year.
Mm-hmm. But he hasn't played well, but that comes back to, like I said, about the pressure that he's on, because there was a lot of expectations from him, and at his age, he saw the amount of minutes he was getting, the amount of faith that he was shown last year, and now all of a sudden he's been told he's not getting that same. Now, we don't know what conversations are going on behind or in Bishopstown. We don't know, is there a reason that he's not playing or anything, but he must feel pressure that his career was about to take off and now it's been stopped, essentially. That we all thought at the start of the season he was going to be this season's Cathal O'Sullivan. And I think if he were to be given a start, and I do think he's good enough to start, then maybe if he were to get a couple of games starting, then maybe we'd see an improvement from him. Maybe he wouldn't have the pressure. He wouldn't have that weight on his shoulders that he has to perform now. It might help him if he was showing a bit of faith.
When would you be in that line of thinking that giving the player a start to get more minutes in his legs could be a good thing? Because we saw how good he was last year.
Yeah, but there's a reason why he's not starting. Like, maybe we need to lose a couple of games to change the lineup, but Barry's fairly stuck with his first 14. He doesn't deviate from it. Do you still have faith in Barry Robson? Let me ask.
Hard to know, Wayne, to be honest. I think I've said, wouldn't take much really for any manager, even one of the old leagues ever presence or whatever. Even Tim Clancy's like to go the first series of games here unbeaten and, you know, scrape a draw away to Bray. Like, it's not rocket science.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, look,
the jury's out for me still.
He's unbeaten, so you have to give him faith. But I'll just make the point now that I was going to make later, that one thing that's bothering me with him is the excuses. And if we don't, he'll come up with something. It's like listening to Jurgen Klopp or something. This week, the excuse for why we didn't win was that the pitch was too narrow. Like, Bray, first of all, are well within their rights to make the pitch as narrow as they can within regulations and as wide as they can within regulations. But by complaining about the pitch not being wide enough, which, yes, we do like to go out wide, so yes, that is going to damage us a bit. But by doing that, he sent a message to the rest of the league to say, right, if we just make the pitch a bit more narrow, then that's going to affect him. But he said in an interview afterwards that there was barely 13 metres between the sideline and the edge of the box. Now, the minimum width of a football pitch in the League of Ireland can be 60 metres. So the minimum the Carlisle grounds can be is 60 metres. The whole box takes up 40 metres in width, which means that leaves 20 metres left over, which is 10 metres either side. So even if it was 13 metres, that's still 3 metres more than the minimum that it can be. So it was within regulation size. If he was saying that it was a smaller than regulation size pitch, then that would be one thing. That would be a big accusation to make.
Or even bang on, like, or whatever. But
yeah, exactly.
Was it 6 metres wider than regulations? Damn, is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, essentially.
By what
width was it? Did you say 60 metres?
So the minimum it can be is 60 metres. So the smallest the pitch can be in the League of Ireland. In IFAB rulebook, it's 45 metres, but that's for amateur football as well. For professional leagues, which even the first division is classified as, it's 60 metres as a minimum.
And
weight, 95 is minimum length.
Braze was lined at 66. She's in now.
Be bigger, I would imagine.
It's 68 only.
Is it?
It's 105 long and 68 wide.
And how do you know exactly what Braze was last Friday, Dom?
I don't.
He was on the Trundle wheel.
I know. I'm genuinely curious here. Like,
do you know what? Next time I'm in Bray, I'll bring the Trundle wheel up. But the maximum it can be is, what is it? Fucking 90 metres in width.
What?
And yeah, that's the maximum it can be. But it has to be, it can't be a square, so it can't be 90 by 90 either. Essentially, it's a load of shit.
About the Carlisle grounds is they've built walls higher now, so you can't actually look out onto the seafront.
Yeah. Let's say, what the fuck are we talking about?
I know.
We'll go to the second half because we're already way too long.
I think.
Hang on.
I think again just adds to my, like, the jury's still out with that nonsense. Like it just sounds like, fuck's sake, the pitch is too narrow.
Well, Dom wants to make another 20-minute point. Come on.
But no, like it just in general this season, it was highlighted in the match on Fridays. Like we're in a weird situation because we all know that we've good attacking options. Like we've 3 strikers that we need to rotate around. We're better there. We all know we're defensively frail. Like Shani Maguire is by far the best player in the league, and like definitely at a standard way above this league. And we also know that we keep making defensive errors which are costing us, and we keep conceding stupid goals. But it doesn't come across that way when you're watching a match, because it seems like we're lucky if we score and we'd be incredibly unlucky if we concede. So it's just you expect to win every match 1-0, which when you're leaving the margins, like when your expectation is to only win by 1 goal, you have to allow for give or take a goal for either team, which means if you're expected to win 3 or 4-0, then if you're expected to win 4-0 every game, then a 3-1 result isn't going to be surprising. So if you're expected to win 1-0, then don't be surprised if we get a few 0-all draws or 1-all draws or something this season, which is just where we are leaving it too close.
All right, and that concludes the first half Toe Tapper. Stay with us as we have the mailbag and SB of the week to come. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/toetap for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.
Welcome back to part 2 Toe Tapper. It is now time for your mailbag.
Postman Patta, Postman Patta, in black and white cat.
Billy Dorney, lads, I understand that the team finds it hard to get motivated in this kip of a division. I know personally I'd rather skip the season, but we have to wade through the treacle and so be it. But in all seriousness, do ye think that we have any chance at all of surviving 1 season in the Prem with this team? I fucking don't. We've the reputation, justly so, of being a yo-yo team, and cannot, under any circumstance of us getting anywhere under our current owners. Main question, how long can Dermot get away with this bullshit? No man's an island, but Dermot's ego must be enormous to even consider staying much longer. Win.
There's no hope of us staying up with this team. Anyway.
0.
Like this exact team, 0 chance. Yeah, and
his main question, how long can Dermot get away with this bullshit? Does anyone want to take that one up?
I don't think he's
getting away with
it. He wants. No one gives a shit anymore. No one gives enough shit anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
Like, who cares enough to challenge it? Like, nobody.
Yeah, there was a protest, and there was already a protest, and that kind of wasn't long fizzling away because we got to a cup final, and then, you know,
in the Premier that'll come back if we're going to stink again, which we probably inevitably will be. But
like if we get promoted and we're bottom again after like 6 games, then
I could say 3 games. I'd say that's it.
Oh, I know, but 3 meltdown stuff. Then I'd say so. That's probably it then.
The second
I do think this Barry Ryan thing could be something that tips him over. Like I said, even about that Examiner from that article from the Examiner, there's a change there. You see, when, for example, Tim Clancy left because he wasn't supported, but it was easy to blame that as being that it was the commute and family reasons, and he set up a business and stuff. Danny Murphy left, and it was easy to blame that on the results and stuff. Barry Ryan left because the way he worded his statement about leaving, there's no two ways about it. We all know, and there's no denying why he left.
Sure, yeah, it all leads back to one person. Other mailbag question, Anthony Falvey, how did Kelleher get away with playing in England? Is the standard that bad?
It wasn't that high. It was League Two, not conference. We said that, like, you know. And plus, you can just hit a cliff and fall.
Yeah.
It's easy to do well in England, but to do well in Ireland, in the League of Ireland, a much better league, much more prestigious league, that's the real challenge.
James Greenham, would you buy a €2 million toilet from him? I don't know who him is, but I'm sure you can use your imagination.
I wouldn't buy a €2 toilet from him.
I presume he means, is he talking about the club though? Like it's 2 million. Kerry, you'd probably be in the best position to know here.
That seems to be the number being floated around in rumours about what the club are asking allegedly in terms of someone else taking over. But look, we don't know that for sure. We're getting a lot of whispers here and there. It's I can't see how it's just mind-boggling really, like how someone could come in and piss away 2 million, because that's what's happened really, like and expect it then to be given back, like Forrest, in fairness, like spent the bones of 12-13 years of membership fees ultimately, which isn't a small amount. Like, you're talking 5,600,000 there of membership fees at a guess. No, I'd have to go back and count all the figures, but I'd imagine it's in around that number. What did it get after the takeover? Like 25,000 or something left. Like, you know, it was like, here's the club, take on the debts and take on the burden of the players' contracts and all the other agreements the club has, and you'll also benefit from the commercial agreements like we already had with Zeus and all that when Dermot took over, and we had, you know, kit deals with Sport Bachmann, and like there was a lot of great things as well. I can't get my head around how, like, it's just typical bullheaded businessman stuff, like, isn't it? I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but if that's what's actually happening and what's been alleged, that like, I want the 2 million back that I pissed away, like, then that's just like, no one's going to give you that. Like,
when you took a gamble, you lost. Surely you just have to fucking move on. Like,
yeah,
that's it. Simple as, like, it's not going to work, and it won't work next season. I think he's probably waiting to get promoted and then sell it. I don't know. Like,
the club was worth more back at the end of 2022 than it is now. Like,
100% it was worth. Like, that was my next question. Are we in a better position outside of the money owed, right? Get rid of that. Are we in a better position than we were? We're absolutely not. We're in a worse position.
No, a million miles away from it. The goodwill around the club was enormous. We'd just been promoted. Colin Healy was a hero. The women's team were, you know, Danny Murphy had just come in, and things seemed to be moving in the right direction. Like, there was a lot of great. We just signed a new deal with Zeus as club sponsor. Like, UCC were great partners. We had scholarships. We had this. You know, I don't think the club really valued the Sport Bachmann deal, and to be fair, seems to be getting great margins on merchandise with the RA stuff and whatever. But like, the club was in brilliant place at the end of 2022 in terms of, like, I won't say now people are going to be like, oh my God, but didn't Forrest say at the vote that it was in dire straits and whatever? But yeah, fair enough. Like, Forrest couldn't really sustain it going forward, and it would have ultimately been at best a yo-yo club. But like, in terms of handing it over to a guy that was about to put in a couple of million, like, Jesus, it couldn't have been more primed and ready. Like, and again, I'll just go back again, lads, to this thing. There's this myth as well that Dermot came in kind of end of January, early February, because that's when the press release came out that he had officially taken over. Do you remember that photo shoot with him holding up the jersey in Bishopstown? Like, that's nonsense. Like, he basically took over the running of the club from around end of November-ish. Like, was already making decisions, had met Colin Healy, was promising him budgets, and he even said at the vote that he had already like committed money towards Colin Healy's budget to sign players.
Dom, was the €10 deals, Mike, that Kerry got you giving you trouble there, was it?
Just on that point, though, like I tried to make a point last week, but basically, Usher's been fucking up and getting things wrong, making mistakes from the start, from the second he came into the club, and that's fine. That happens. People get things wrong. People make a balls of it, especially when you're in a new area of business. It was all forgivable up until the second relegation, because not even Kerry can say that he got the club relegated twice. That's something that
to be honest, like, whatever.
yeah, come on. That would forever be his legacy. No matter what happens in the future, he might stick around and bring us back to glory days, but his legacy will always be that he is the owner that got us relegated more than anyone else.
He won't do that. We're all in agreement, like, the glory days.
Yeah.
They ain't coming, like, under this ownership.
Not with him, no, I don't think so. No.
It's hard to see.
Wayne's looking longingly, like. But it would be all water under the bridge if we got fucking tripped to Latvia, like.
It would, but it's still the record for most relegations, and it's done. I'm just sick of talking about it, right?
All right.
Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change, like.
Connor asked about... Yeah, Connor K, you've probably already touched on it, but the kids for a Quid is class. Getting kids through the door and building that next generation is fundamental to the future of the club. A child's ticket turns into a jersey, scarf and chips. Is there any more initiatives you'd like to see when you're normally the big man for this type of stuff? So,
but again, it's pie in the sky stuff. Like, I know Athletic Bilbao do it. I think Elche did it. Athletic Club, I should say, not Bilbao. Every time there's a kid born in a certain location of the stadium, they give him a jersey. It's pie in the sky stuff, like, but it's things like that I'd love to get into schools and hand out stuff, tickets, jerseys. Again, don't give anyway for free unless you give them to in schools and stuff like that. But yeah, stuff like that. I don't know.
The teddies on the pitch for charity, for children's charity. That'll be a good one. Instead of bog roll and tennis balls.
I think like even go on, Dom.
Get promoted, stay in the Premier Division, win the Premier Division, keep winning, and then we'll have 43,000 people in Turner's Cross every week. Easy.
Kerry.
I'm just going, I know, easier said than done, Dom, with the current situation. But yeah, short term, then, like, put plans together now for, like, the rest of the season and games, because we know we're going to win the league. So whatever game that we're going to be lifting the trophy, I don't know, do like a tenner for adults and kids for a quid. Again, fill the place like 7,000 and have kids remember seeing the players lifting a trophy, and then they'll want to be back for next year, and there might be a bit of buzz for season tickets and stuff like that. But just have about maybe 3 or 4 more of these different types of promotions, but you have to try and fill the cross for the game where we're lifting the trophy. And then tie that in as well with, like, maybe a day after in Bishopstown, anyone who goes to the game gets, you can turn up in Bishopstown the next day and get photos with the players and the trophy and sign stuff and things like that. Just try and be as creative as you can with what resources we have. Like,
that's a great idea, to be fair.
Ian Crowley asks, are plastic pitches or kryptonite, or is it a giraffe of a CB that couldn't run to save his life and one that has 1 foot out the door?
Those plastic pitches are good these days, that's all I'll say.
They are, to sure.
No comment on the last piece.
Tom, are you brave enough?
I'm just trying to think, how do I word this now?
Don't call him fat anyway.
I just like to point out I've never called a player fat on this podcast. Everyone else has, but I've never used that word.
You're saying we put words in your mouth? Is that what you're trying to say?
Allegedly, for want of a better word. But yeah, no, like stupid defensive mistakes are our kryptonite. And not being able to score goals.
PK from Burr. He spoke last week of the goals that City are conceding. What about the goals they aren't conceding but would if the standard of the opposition was higher? Like it certainly will be next year in the Premier. As Eamon Dunphy used to say, when you go up a level, the stuff that you got away with in the lower level will be punished.
Levels. There's levels to this, and that's what,
That's why half the team can't go up with us.
Yeah.
More than half, 3/4.
Exactly. Yeah.
We all know they'll be here, lads.
But you see, just on that, like the team themselves, like yes, a lot of them aren't Premier Division quality, but maybe if you're looking at having the right coaches and the right manager in place and stuff, then you can get, without getting rid of the players, just add in a couple of players and you could do all right. Like there's. If there was players that you could rotate, that they were training with, like one thing that gets forgotten about a lot with how thin of a squad that we have is they're only training with each other. So they're only training with the same players every day. If you bring in more quality players, that brings up the level of everyone else. So even if you were to only add a new fullback, a new centre back, a new centre mid, a new striker, a new winger, and have the right coaching and the right training going into it. And I know because training football is my job, but you do that and all these players who we're saying they're not good enough could very well become good enough.
Okay. I think that's it for our mailbag. We'll drive it on now to SB of the week.
It's time for the SBMBS of the week.
Dom, it's your show.
Thank you, Dan. So, it was a quite enough one. I only have 2 for this week. First nomination is Derry City for having a shit pitch. Like we all know that Brandywell is infamous for causing injuries to players. Like, look what happened to Rory Keating last year. And there's been so many players have spoken about how they've gotten injured because of the pitch and how shit it is of a pitch it is. But now their shit pitch strikes again. And this time the most unfortunate way, because they're after injuring their marquee signing, James McLean. There were huge expectations on Derry at the start of the season. Like I was saying that they're either going to finish first or second, or if not, they'll finish mid-table. And a lot of people were expecting them to challenge for the league, but they've been shite. And when they signed James McLean, there was a lot more expectations. It was a huge signing. Everyone thought it was a great signing, but it hasn't worked out. He's struggled, and now we know why.
That's it. And your second SP of the week, Dom.
Hang on. So he arrived with a hip injury, and now it's transpired that because they're shitty surface and Derry's pitch, his entire career might be over, from what has been said. He was an Irish legend, and he's given us loads of memories playing for Ireland, and just by winding up the Brits in his career over there. But his entire career ruined by a shitty pitch.
Well, the end of his career, like he goes out with a whimper, like really, if it's down to, a hip injury or something. I think I read today that he's struggling with, but I think he got positive news from doctors. But again, it's not looking good for him really to feature much for Derry for the rest of the year, really.
No, and I'm just getting up his statement here. He said, so this is his official statement.
Jesus Christ, he's murder for a statement.
I'm starting tonight, my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel the pain. It's the Astro. Don't you see, Tiernan? This is the Astro. I'm starting tonight, my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel the pain. What kind of shit? Who the fuck wrote that?
Shakira.
Right.
We've had some holders on our time.
I think it was actually Shakira wrote it originally, but he's trying to obviously,
Or was it
I'm
Wycliffe?
starting tonight and my hips don't lie. That's what he's...
Tom, you probably could have put more like gusto into it, like when you're doing it, you know.
I know.
I was trying to read it very slow. That was part of the joke. That was part of the joke.
I think you're getting this speed week.
Okay. Yeah.
Good do. Anyway, second nomination for SB of the week will go to Shelburne for throwing away a 2-goal lead at half-time. So Shells were beating Drogheda 2-0 at half-time with goals from Sean Boyd and Tommy Barrett. And the second half started, and Warren Davis, who's a great guy, got a 15-minute hat-trick to put them ahead. They went 3-2 up. Then Shells got one back, and they thought they were after clawing back a draw from their 2-goal lead, with Harry Wood scoring a penalty. And then in the 86th minute, Conor Keeley wasn't having it and put them to bed. Shells have been absolutely shite this season. Another team that were expected to challenge Shamrock Rovers for the league, and it's just kind of annoying because like Derry and Shells, two teams we were hoping would stop Shamrock Rovers from just running away with it again, and they're just not at anything, and you'd have to wonder, like, does it come down to what I said at the start of the season, that their recruitment strategy is just proven to be useless? Their thing of using algorithms to sign foreign players who don't know the league and the coaches and owners don't know, and it caused us to be relegated twice. It's probably not going to cause Shells to be relegated because Watford are so shite. And they've put money into it. They've actually invested money into the shit strategy that they have, unlike us. But they are just a team that have nothing about them.
Right. What's everyone's favourite SB of the week there? Lads, was slim. It's even more slim pickings this week.
The middle one.
There was two of them.
All right, the first one.
Wasn't there one, lads? Isn't there a game according to FAI Connect still going on as we speak?
Yes,
I saw it earlier. Yeah,
give it to that one.
It was Charleville. I think it was plus 1,856 minutes. I think of injury time added on in that one. So
it's worse. It's Charleville ladies versus Avondale. Charleville are currently winning 6-0. It's the 45th minute plus 4,127 minutes of stoppage time.
I thought it was Athlone and Sligo.
There was that too.
Academy under 14s. Yeah, there's 1,835 additional minutes being played.
Where do I see this?
It's in the FAI Connect app. Yeah,
you send me a screenshot there.
All right,
it's in our group chat.
We'll just give it to that one and we'll move on. Yeah. And that was SB of the week.
It's time for the SBMBS of the week.
I won't forgive you last week either, lads. I think LOI TV as well was down the week of the Wexford game, and people missed the first goal. Plenty of people do. I saw on X and stuff like that. So I won't forgive you for last week's SB of the week. LOI TV deserved the nomination again.
That's because we're diehards in at all the games, you see. So
I know. Sure, look, allegedly.
We have very exciting 2 games this week. We'd pick the first one at Queenstown at home this Friday. Tom, how are you feeling about coming into it?
For Cove, 2 players that I quite like from Reece Brennan, who's the fellow, I think he's on loan from Shells. I thought he was very good the last time we played them. And also Timo Martin, their goalkeeper. I do rate him quite a bit. Like some statistics for Cove I was looking at, they've 16 points from 12 games. They've won 4 games. They've drawn 4 games. They've scored 13 goals and conceded 16. Now, out of their 4 games, 3 of those came in the space of a week, back when the bank holiday and there was a game on the Monday. So only 2 players for them have scored more than 1 goal this season. Kai O'Neill and DJ Ghost. And only DJ Ghost has scored more than 2 goals. He's gone 5 goals. They've only gone 4 assists all season, which is just crazy. Dylan McGlade is averaging 1 goal per game, and Rhys Gord is averaging 2 shots per game. Other than that, it seems to be very spread out across the team. They're just not a great team this season. Like, they score 1 goal per game, they get 10 shots per game. Statistics are very bad for them. It does make you wonder, is Fran Rocket under pressure?
See, if we were quick off the draw now, like, someone would play the tune, don't fucking even go for it.
There's so much junk here in the jingle folder, I can't even find it. But Dylan McGlade has to be the danger man for Friday night, lads. Has to be.
That's hard on Dylan McGlade about, like.
Dylan McGlade is a nutting player.
I just have visions of him cutting in running down the Derrynane road side of the pitch, cutting in on his right, whacking it into the top corner, like he did for us against Athlone there back in 2022. Oh God, lads! I think we do well now. We need Conor Drynan at his absolute best to keep McGlade quiet on Friday night, like.
I know you're taking the piss, but like,
he's not. He actually really likes Dylan McGlade, because Dylan McGlade definitely licks his all, I'd say.
Like, Dylan McGlade, no doubt, he seems like a really nice guy. No two ways about it, but for fuck's sake, like, he'd have 1 good game for us, and then he'd be shit for the next 6 or 7 games.
He did his MCL now in 2022 and came back from that as well.
He's called DJ Ghost.
Yeah. Lads, another SB of the week here as well. I just went to leagueofireland.ie, right? A late SB of the week, and just clicked into the men's LOI and the first division homepage, and the league table has Dundalk top with 79 points and Cove Ramblers second with 69. Like, fucking hell. Art to FAI. There is a first division, but again, this just shows you, lads. I'm going to check out a curiosity. Is the Premier Division up to date? It is.
I always use FAI Connect.
The Premier Division is up to date, and they have 13 games played. And then if you go to the First Division, it's last year's First Division table and all that. Like, that is fucking... Oh, dear God.
It's really worth it to go to the effort.
I glanced at it and I was like, Clover aren't second. And no, that's last year.
All right, no more late SBs of the week. Just jumping in the floor.
Like... I was looking at the last 3 games for Cove. They lost 3-2 to 2-0 to Wexco, which is no major shock because they are a good team, to be fair. But like the Cove and Longford game, it finished 0-0, and if it wasn't for Timo Martin, it could have been 2 or 3 goals to Longford. It looked like it was Longford had the pressure on for the entire game, and then they beat Harps 2-0. Like, Cove seemed to be the dominant team in that game, but both their goals were because of this quality of the pitch. Like, Gary Buckley scored a goal after the ball kind of bounced in front of him, but didn't actually bounce. It just stopped in the mud, and he was able to kick it in. It just landed perfectly for him. And then their second goal, it was McDade for Harps, I think, tried to pass the ball back to the keeper, and it just got stuck in the mud, and Reece Kelly-Noonan chased down and was able to get onto it. So, like, if it wasn't for that, it could have been another nil. Like, they're shite. We should be making easy work of it, but whether we will or not,
we thought that against Bray, and they're on the same amount of points
every week, and it never actually happens.
What do you think, Wayne? Haven't heard from you in a while.
It's hard to, like, this is the one game where we could lose it. You know, it's Cove at home. I think we need to be on the ball, and I think there's a few players there, and they could kick up the hole, or Cove could beat us.
This weekend, really, like, it's 2 probably big ones that we could lose, like Cove and Kerry, just for the pure local interest, kind of. And
we absolutely could. Like. But I think that I think we win him. I think we will. I think we'll be fine. But I just think that he also needs to. I just worry that Bray kind of found us out a bit, you know, a little. They kind of knew what we were at. And you know what? I think it'll be 2 draws. That's what I think is going to happen. And my 102-point dream is over.
Kerry, what do you think?
Yeah, but I think, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Cove snuck a draw on Friday night. Like,
shows the state we're in. Like,
but what I saw last Friday night, I'm completely down in the dumps about it, to be honest. And as well, then 2 games in a weekend. I think there'll be a bit of needle in the Kerry game as well, with kind of some of the stuff we heard about what happened on the way back to the dressing room with Colin and stuff like that. that might be Colin's last chance, I think, as well, to keep his job at Kerry. Like, if we beat them badly Monday, probably things might not be good for Colin in the preceding day or the following days. But so we'll see how it plays out. Could be a very interesting weekend for the league as a whole.
This is the weekend where we really need to try to show who we are. And,
6 points, no excuses.
Batter 2 teams and it's all gravy again,
Or B team and our C team, like, just go out and smash them both, like, in a weekend, get your 6 points, rack up 6 or 7 goals and move on. But no, it's just not going to happen, Wayne, is it?
I wouldn't even overthink it, to be honest with you.
No,
which game was it where we had that free kick and it was like they got it wrong, but it was obviously a training ground routine. Was that last week? I can't remember. Anyway, I just think we just play it simple and just win the game. As in, like, just we should in reality batter them. I don't think we will, though. That's the thing.
What teams would you be picking, or do you care?
Yeah, do you have a rotation?
You have to rotate. I wouldn't play Balder in both games anyway, and I'd stop and I'd start Shawnee in both games. Before winning 2-0, I'd take him off.
Yeah,
I'd start Keating
in one
at home. I think against Cove, I think he'd do well. Away, I probably would start in Pongo.
Are you taking out Murphy because he's such a young player, not to give him the 2 games? Played for Ireland last week.
Yeah, he probably won't start on Friday. I don't know.
Nah, he will. He'll start on Friday.
He will, yeah. He might start both games.
Yeah, he might not start Monday, but I'd say he could start both, yeah.
Like, if we lose to Cove or draw to Cove, then you kind of have to start your strong team again. Yeah, if we beat Cove 2-0 or 2-1, you can kind of go, okay, we won that game, let's rest 1 or 2.
You can try a few things then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally say normally I'd be all about rotating, but I'd be half wary of Cove on Friday, and I've no fear that we're going to go down to Kerry and we're going to beat them by a good amount. So I'd be playing a stronger team on Friday and rotating the team Monday, probably playing a weak team on Monday. I'd be going 4-4-2. Brannon goal, back 4, Nevin, Kelleher, Lyons and Drinan. Midfield, Killian Murphy on the right, because if you remember towards the end of the last game we played against Cove, he went out into right wing and he was very good out there. So I'd be playing him right mid, Matthew Murray left mid, and Greg Bolger and Derek Crowley in the centre, and I'd be putting Keating and Shawnee up front. And then we see from Monday then based on that.
Is it last chance saloon for Healy this weekend, Dom?
I think surely there has to be some. From what I've heard, he is being backed by the Kerry board and everything. They are on his side and everything, but I don't think the Kerry fans are too happy with him. So there's only so long before the pressure builds on Billy Dennehy to make a call on it.
Yeah, I have no doubt about that, to be honest, because I'd say the board can see how hard he works and all of that stuff and behind the scenes. And he has made some decent signings, just hasn't seemed to work out for whatever reason. But it is one of, Kerry's highest expectation seasons since their foundation. So, that's going against him, I'd say. But that's to his own detriment for having such a good season last year and the cup run and all that. So, look, again, it's the fact there's 2 games and they could lose both. It's a risky one.
Okay. What are we saying? So, Wayne, you're saying 6 points?
No, I'm actually going to say 4 points. A draw on Friday and a win on Monday.
Yeah, I feel like the same. Dom?
I think 1-0 on Friday and I'm going to say 4-1 on Monday.
Kerry?
I'm going to go 1-0 in both games to us.
Right. Attendance-wise on Friday, how much do you think the €1 tickets will bring in?
2,987.
Even with kids for a quid?
They surprised me the last time, so I'm going to say 3,500.
3,143, I'm going to say, actually, now that I think of it.
I'm going to go 3,800.
7,001.
Come on, Wayne.
Who's the one?
It's not about me anyway.
Actually, I forgot 43,000.
Will there be lads going? Yeah, but that has to be a winning team, Dom.
Top of the league, unbeaten.
Will there be lads able to get in with a kid's ticket coming up to the turnstiles?
They're going to try.
Who'd stop them? You'd like back in the Forest days. I could see the scanners at the gate stopping people going in like that with tickets with the wrong whatever. Like, but like, who'd stop someone now? Like, if you walked up to the like,
it's under 13s, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, is the person who's scanning the ticket going beep? Do they actually give a shit? I see this happen at the Cork GA matches all the time as well, Dan. Like, you just have like volunteers or someone. They don't give a shit. They're just scanning. Especially if there's a big queue of people, they're just like beep. Yeah, does the ticket work? Get in there. Like,
yeah. There's no rugby game on Friday, is there?
I doubt it.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear anything. Anyway,
I don't want to go too early, like, because that's one of the annoying things is that when you go too early, when the game's on, you're just sitting around like a fart waiting against it.
Did you go for a pint before?
No, if I have the kids with me, I won't be going to drink a pint at all. No.
Will you be bringing the kids? For a Quid, you might as well.
One of them.
All right,
interesting.
That concludes this episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Lads, anything to say? Dom, of course, you do.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. Miles, Duggan and Hincha in the forum were looking for a shout out, but you're not getting it, lads, because Deco isn't here. But fuck Scotto.
Right.
More forum banter.
I'll just jump in there with a more serious one. So you announced it last week, lads, about the Féileacáin Fathers group that we're going to be supporting this year with charity initiatives. So yeah, like, just wanted to give a bit more details on that. They sent in some info. So look, anyone who's obviously unfortunately, part of this group and all that, like, our hearts go out to you. Of course, it's one of the most crushing things that could ever happen. But this group is there for people that suffer this unfortunate event. And look, they do. We got some details sent in. They meet once a month for a 5-a-side kickabout in the District Astro. I think that's up in. What's the hotel there, lads? Silver Springs, up in Silver Springs. And they're meeting the next one is Monday, May 11th. And then they also meet most Saturday mornings for like a walk in Tramore Valley Park. And they do bigger games and charity events as well. They have a website anyway, féileacáin.ie. But of course, we'll be supporting them this year financially and supporting and promoting their events for the season. So yeah, great cause, and great group of lads involved as well. So great to support them.
Brilliant stuff. All right, that concludes this episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Adios, amigos.
Zero miedo, amigos.
Ever, lads.
Adios.
It's definitely Adios. Comic Book Guy with Worst Podcast Ever, Wayne. That's the name of the pod, isn't it?
Arrivederci.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mercado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So, what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/toetap for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.